Friday. Welcome to the area's only lifestyle program, PA Live. I'm Rachel Malik.
And I am Chris Bohinski. Are you enjoying that rain outside?
We had so many nice, beautiful days. I think we were due, maybe. Well, warm days.
And it's funny because just this morning I was talking to someone and I said, oh, my hands are cold outside.
Oh, I know what fixes that.
Oh, actually, I'm not even doing a toss to this.
Oh, okay, so your hands are cold.
And
we'll
they're like, Chris, it's January. And I was like, oh, yeah.
But you forget. After a week, I've been wearing my spring coats. I forgot I needed like a heavy winter coat today.
I almost just forgot we're talking about gloves. There has been...
It's a theme.
I need to be very transparent with people. There has been I just got back from the hospital about a half hour ago, and I beautifully witnessed my aunt go home to Jesus with some of my family members, and everything kind of happened so quickly that it was not supposed to be like this. She wasn't that sick. So under normal circumstances, I would have went home. But the person who I'm featuring today along with Rachel, he's currently in the hospital, who he was supposed to be in on the show when I went to his house and I met him. His name is Jay Ruckel, and he's a glove maker. He has made gloves for over 50 years. And you know, it's funny how in life you plan stuff and you say, you know, you try to do everything right. So in a perfect world, he was going to be sitting right on the couch here next to us, but he is a little sick right now, and through talking with him, we decided that we would still showcase his work on the show, and then invite him back on the show when he's a little bit better. So here is the story of a man who has begloved 8 first ladies: Madonna, Prince, and do it? the king of pop, Michael Jackson.
So I know I'm going to write a chapter of my life. It's going to be about Michael Jackson because I made his last glove. I'm Jay Ruckel, and I'm from Sweet Valley, Pennsylvania, and I've been making gloves in New York City and in Gloversville, New York for the last 50 years. Anyway, I have his, again, I have his thumb fourchette and trank pattern. We've made hundreds of pairs of gloves for Prince. This is Prince's pattern. We made through a designer, Stephen DePietri, who in 1982, he mounted Yves Saint Laurent retrospective exhibition that traveled to major museums in the world. And Madonna, there you go, there it is. That's the glove we made, minus the fingers being cut off. I'm still, can you believe I don't even turn on a computer? And I've begloved 8 first ladies. Mrs. Onassis has, usually she goes to Europe several times a year, and when she goes there, she buys 3 dozen or 4 dozen of this, and that length. She hasn't been feeling too well. Could you please make up pairs of gloves? 6.5, that's the smallest size, and she's such a bigger than life, she was such a bigger than life lady that I thought she'd be like an 8.5. We made a pair of gloves for Hillary Clinton, 4 pair of gloves, 2 in 7, size 7, and 2 in 7.5 for Laura Bush, and she wore it for the inauguration, and I looked, there was Barbara Bush. So she must have had the 7 on. Barbara Bush had the other one on to go with her red suit. Laura had a kind of eggshell white suit that this matched it perfectly. So I got 2 first ladies in one fell swoop. Michelle Obama was wearing a J. Crew dress underneath the Isabel Toledo coat that she had, and the one in Petard's celery green matched her dress perfectly. I call it Obama green now. They said she wears an 8.5. She doesn't wear an 8.5, and I got proof that I got the pattern. 4 Democrats and 4 Republicans, I might add. When we were in Gloversville, we had on the payroll 126 people, so it would be millions of gloves that we've made. I still don't wear gloves.
I love that. It's so fun to watch, and how cool that there's someone so local that's so iconic in the glove world. There's nothing more fabulous than a pair of gloves, especially the kind he makes.
And it's just so beautiful how everyone is connected.
Yeah.
I mean, I met Jay through a gentleman who used to work with my dad, and he said, Chris, like, I have an interesting friend and I would love for you to meet him. And then, you know, a few days later, I'm in this man's house and he's showing me, you know, the boxes and boxes. I mean, he has warehouses full of inventory of his illustrious career. And again, because of, I mean, Jay, I know you're watching right now, so we are wishing you a very speedy recovery.
Absolutely.
So you can join us right here in the studio. But it's a very timely story now that we had to wait a little bit, because if you happen to pick up a copy of Community News, the Back Mountain newspaper, the back cover, there's Jay, and there is a current a display of some of his pieces at the Back Mountain Library. So I mean, how exciting and cool that some of those gloves that I amazingly was able to literally see right in front of my eyes, you can also now see at the Back Mountain Library for free.
Yeah, such a cool opportunity. I think people are really going to jump at the chance to kind of be a part of history too in a lot of ways. The First Lady piece of it all on its own is magnificent, but then you take into account all the celebrities, which you know I love. Who doesn't? I mean, it's really spectacular.
I spent about 6 hours at his house, and I mean, the amount of, I mean, we can make an hour-long show on him and his career. One of the important things that didn't make that final piece, but I would love to say, is the lace from the Madonna Like a Virgin gloves was made in Dallas.
Oh my word.
PA, in the Twin Stacks building. That used to be a lace factory. So the lace in Madonna's iconic gloves were made right here in our backyard in Luzerne County.
That is really cool. I wonder if I wonder if you asked him this, if it hurt him to cut the fingers off the gloves.
He didn't. Madonna's stylist
But do you think that was like offensive to him as a designer?
Well, the first pair...
A question I would ask you, Jay.
Actually, and you know, we didn't even talk about this, but the first pair that Madonna used was a pair of gloves that her stylist found in a vintage shop in New York City. So then, after everybody loved them, then they
became the thing.
Found who made them and all of that. So he didn't necessarily make the first pair for Madonna. Her stylist got them, and then...
And then a trend was born, really, truly. You know what else? I don't know what glove size I am. I guess I didn't know that there were like real... I guess I've never had like a fancy pair of gloves that actually fit properly.
Everyone's thumbs are all different.
Well, and I have 2 different size thumbs. This is so cool.
Show off this. I made this with something very special that Jay gifted me.
Beautiful.
It is a glove made out of the materials in the exact same size as he made for Michael Jackson. This was part of a passion project for him, because he not only gloved Michael Jackson's last tour, This Is It, that he unfortunately passed away before he ever went on, but he had gloved Michael for like 3 decades before this. But his last hand measurement is the exact hand measurement of this glove, made with, you know, some of the material that he also sent to them. So he was just like laying in a box, and he was like, Chris, when this is all happening, I made as many as I can with the material that I still had.
Yeah. Did you try it on?
I did not know. Oh my gosh.
Well, I don't know.
My hand versus Michael Jackson's hand?
I've never seen Michael Jackson's hand.
Me either, but I'm assuming it's very tiny. So
such a cool piece, though. Thank you for sharing it with us.
The love of a glove, truly, right? You never know who's in your backyard.
So true.
You all stick around at home. More with PA Live when we return.